think big lake running is freedom.
It's the ability to run speeds you're not allowed to run on the trail. It's all the things you want to do with your sled, but that aren't safe to do anywhere else. And it's all the places you want to go that maybe you weren't able to go.
The thing about Ontario that really makes it a haven for snowmobile lake running is obviously, one glance at a map, there's so many lakes. Ontario really is a unique place geographically. The amount of lakes we have and how tightly packed together they are make this the ultimate playground for lake running. The other thing about it is that there's such a great trail system that intertwines between the lakes that if a lake is unsafe, you can choose not to run it, and there's definitely a way around it. On top of that, a lot of the trails between lakes are groomed in many cases, so you can run a smooth lake that's 100 feet wide and 100 miles an hour, hit a perfectly groomed trail, run that to the next superhighway lake, and do that all day long. So there's no better place in North America, in my opinion, than Ontario if you want to run big lakes, run them fast, run them safe, and just have a blast out in the open.
Researching the area you're going to ride is important because you might miss some unique places or epic scenery that could be right around the corner. Getting to these places, getting off your sleds, and taking the time to enjoy them is a huge part of the adventure of lake running. In our area in Ontario, there are so many unique places and amazing sights, it would be a shame to just blast right by. Taking 10 minutes out of your trip to take these sights in could be the 10 minutes that stay with you for a lifetime.
That cottage, I think, is actually still on one of the lakes here.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I think so. Seriously, I think it's over at the S-Bend in the Narrows where we drove by there.
Oh.
That's pretty sweet. So I guess if they rebuilt it in 48.
Oh, check out the original photo.
Yeah, that's
1920.
1920.
Do you think that leaked a little bit through those cracks?
The terrain available in Ontario can be so diverse. You can run lakes in the middle of nowhere where you won't see a single person, no houses, no cottages. It's just you and the wilderness. Or you can run lakes where the shorelines are littered with cottages and there's everything you need available. Gas stations, restaurants, lodges, pretty much anything at all. The terrain is diverse because the area is diverse, because Ontario is such a big place and because there's so many different ways to experience Ontario. Lakes are really what we're famous for and the best way to experience Ontario. By far the biggest safety concern before you hit the lakes. There's two of them. First of all, know where you're going. If you hit a lake and you don't know where you're headed or you're not sure where you're getting off, you can end up turned around, you can end up heading the wrong direction. People have hit shore, obviously hit open water. If you don't know where you're headed, don't go out there. And second, you gotta know the conditions. You gotta know whether or not the ice is safe and whether or not it's capable of sustaining your weight. The truth is, if you keep moving, you can pretty much run on almost no ice. A sled can actually travel across water. The problem is that you can't continue to move all the time. Eventually you have to slow down. I find it amusing, some of the misconceptions I hear people have about lake running, because I'm familiar with it, but some things I've heard people say is that the ice will swallow you whole. They actually believe that they can be running down a lake and all of a sudden the ice will open up and they'll just dive underwater. And I mean, I've personally never seen this in 29 years of running lakes. A couple other misconceptions are that if you run lakes, you are guaranteed on every lake to encounter open water. And that's just not true. There are many lakes in Ontario. They're freshwater lakes. Our climate is super cold. The lakes freeze from shore to shore completely across, and there is no open water anywhere. The biggest danger to running lakes, in my opinion, is quite simply ignorance. The thing about big lake running that keeps me coming back is the combination of all the things I love about it. And it all adds up to an adrenaline rush. It just gets you pumped up. It just gets you going when you look at that long stretch of tramped lake and you realize, I'm going down that. And I can go as far as I want, legally go as fast as I want, whenever I want. And that's a rush.